Hello, Vikings. Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. Hey, I just shot a video right here. It's going to have the same background, same clothes and everything for YouTube that I'm going to put up about a turnkey butcher shop operation that somebody may be interested in. It's, has a clientele, has a business, has all the stuff in it. You can basically go in, you can set up shop and start going and continue making money, because this butcher shop has been running for several years and, works great. I know the guy who owns it. I know the guy who's selling it, hence the video on YouTube. Details are there if you're interested. I was reading through the emails today of the comments made on this channel, on one of my past videos, and unfortunately when I'm reading through my phone I can't access Patreon, so I don't really know what video it was, one of my recent videos. And I think it was Lena, who said she moved from California, and she said that if I hadn't already moved, this video would have freaked me out or something like that. And she talked about how when they first got to their house, their new house in the Ozarks, way to go. When she first got to her house, it's like, oh my God, this won't do. And, carpet's got to come out, drywall's got to go out, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, they had the light bulb went off, and it's like, wait a minute, let's focus on important things, right? And so that's what I kind of want to talk about. Priorities for your country place when you get there. Because you all are thinking of moving, right? Sooner rather than later. I've been reading some stuff just to make sure I'm up to date on the Ozarks as a bug out region. There's a fair amount of stuff on the internet. There's some pretty decent comparisons between the Redoubt, James Wesley Rawls. I'll be nice. Plan for the Mountain States. That in and of itself is not a horrible plan. Versus the Ozark, Green Island of security or whatever they call it. There's some interesting back and forth on that. There's a lot of prophecies about the Ozarks that different people have had or made, or dreams or whatever, and you can find those on the internet. None of it changes my mind. I know that the Father is calling His people to come to the Ozarks. Maybe other places too. I'm not saying exclusively, but I know He's calling them here because I see it every day. The people I talk to who are coming from elsewhere. So, you get out here, what are your priorities? You get yourself a piece of land. Some of the stuff you have to take care of in the beginning. And a lot of people have ideas. And if you have a lot of money, and money, a lot of money is a relative thing. If you have a lot of money, you can pursue your ideas like you want to a greater or lesser degree. But people are like, I want live water, running water. Okay, if you want that, it's available and you're going to pay for it, right? Where I live, I have 3 wells that we had drilled. They were all about $3,000 a piece to drill the well. Not horribly expensive, to have water. And so, there's different things, but you need water. And as I just told a couple that we were talking to the other day, it's really easier. I would encourage you to start out with electricity and running water. You can always go full off grid, but it's easier to do that if you start with electricity and running water. And by that I mean, if you could buy some beat up nasty house, okay, let's just call it what it is, that had running water, a flush toilet, and electricity coming in, but it needed so much work, maybe even tear down and start over. But if you had that would make your life and your transition a lot easier. And you can go from there to hooking up your rain collection, your solar, drilling your wells and all that. But it would make your life in the short term very much easier. So there's something to think about. But you are going to need water right off the bat. Now, when I say you need water, that doesn't mean you need the utility coming in. That doesn't mean you need to drill a well right away. Brother Chris and Sister T, following Yeshua, they're catching all their water. They could be going into town and getting some too, but we haven't really had a dry spell, so they're probably catching all their water that they're using. So there are ways. How much of the pioneer spirit still remains in you? Read up on the Puritans who came to, the Pilgrims who came to America. Read up on Jamestown. Just go Wikipedia and read about those people and what they went through, and now look at us now. And here we are. They did it. You can do it. You don't want to do it, maybe. So what do you want more, right? If you can afford to buy the perfect survival retreat homestead, cool. If you can't, you can still get out here. You just got to, you know, do it differently. So priorities: water, security. Fence your place off, or at least paint it. In much of the Ozarks, if you paint your trees with this purple paint, you can go into the hardware store and say, I need that purple paint. They know what you're talking about. They give you a can, you paint your trees. That's like no trespassing. That's what that means. Put a gate up so people just can't wander onto your place, because whatever place you bought, other people used to come there, and they think they still can. You got to kind of let them know, hey, this is my place now, you know. So security is important. You're going to need a water plan. Day one, you're going to drink water, so you're going to have a water plan. You're going to have a toilet plan. I've got lots of videos on the YouTube channel on composting toilets. I think that's the way to go. It took me a while to come around to that. We initially did outhouses, and I still build outhouses for guests because I know how I used to feel. I no longer feel that way. I'm good with a composting toilet. I like them better than outhouses, but whatever, you're going to have to deal with waste disposal, right, wherever you go. And then you're going to want to start getting, you know, your food. I'm assuming you're doing this from a preparedness standpoint, right? So you got water, you have your fence up and your gate, you know, your mild security. You've occupied the place, you have a way to deal with waste. You got to start getting your food situation squared away. Whether that's your bulk storage food that you can buy cheaply, and again, I've talked about that over and over and over again, or whether it's getting some chickens. Chickens are the easiest things in the world to raise. Get chickens, learn how to deal with chickens. You know, you get 6 healthy hens, you're getting 6 eggs a day. You know, hey, that's food for the family, right? They quit laying, you throw a chicken in the pot. You buy a run of chickens from McMurray Hatchery or wherever my wife gets them from, or you go to the TSC when the little chicks are all out and you get a bunch. The roosters, you know, because half of them will turn out to be roosters, you eat them. Put them in your crock pot and eat it, or your Dutch oven or your solar oven or whatever. You eat them, you know, so there's food going on. Lena was talking about she wants a cow for milk. Man, I really recommend goats over cattle. You know, you can throw a goat in the back of your little car and take it to the vet. You can't do that with a cow. A goat will not hurt you. If you know, something happens and it kicks you or something, it won't really hurt you. A cow can seriously hurt you until you know what you're doing with them. And goats will provide a lot of milk, and we love goat milk. You can't try goat milk in the store to see if you like it or not. Goat milk in the store tastes horrible. To do your little research, go find someone in your area. If you're living in the country, there's people in the area who are milking goats, and say, hey, I'd like to buy, you know, quart of milk, gallon of milk, whatever, from you to try it. And I think you'll say, yeah, we need some goats. And they're easy to milk, says the man who doesn't milk his goats. But and goats provide meat too. So, you know, now you've got chickens and goats. You got to get your gardens in, clear some stuff. For rocky clay soil, I really like Back to Eden method. And so many people, I don't know if it's attention span or what, they'll look at that movie, they'll fast forward through it, they'll watch that movie while they're checking their email and talking on the phone and reading a book, and they don't pick up the subtle details of the Back to Eden method, and then they run out and start doing it and they do it wrong. Watch the movie. Watch the movie 3 or 4 times. Take notes. It's a good movie. You can watch it for free on YouTube, Back to Eden Gardening with Paul Gauchi. Or you can order his DVD for $15. I did both. I watched it a couple times and then I ordered his DVD. It's good. You know, throw him some money. And I don't know the guy, but come on. But that's what we use. If you're moving to the country in a place like Washington State where it rains a lot, raised bed gardens are good. Did that in Washington State and they work. But whatever, you need to get some food going. And you need to figure out what you're going to do for winter, you know, to stay warm. And, you know, wood stoves, I love them. Love wood stoves. You know, I could be an old bent over man and still pick up dead twigs and bring them home and get enough of those to burn. You know, you don't need logs. Now, if you're in some place where it snows 10 feet and gets down 30 below, it's a little bit different. But here in the Ozarks, it just doesn't get that cold. Security. I think Lena, I'm using your comment as a jumping point. I hope your name's Lena. Never met. Lena. whatever. I'm using it as a jumping off point. I may recall some things incorrectly. I'm just using it as a thing to talk, right? But I think she said something along the lines of, and we're probably going to go get some guns. Yeah, to me, that's such a foreign concept about how we don't have guns and we need to get guns. Heck, yes, you need to get some guns. Bang, woman. You're in the Ozarks. Get some guns. I have a good video on YouTube. I think it's called 3 Homestead Guns or something like that. Watch that. But yeah, you know, every adult should have a handgun. You should have a shotgun. If you're a little woman, a smaller stature, 20 gauge. And 120 gauge will work for the whole family. You know, pump. I like Mossbergs because they're inexpensive but still good. Whatever. You know, talk about guns, it's like talking about Ford or Chevy. Everyone's got an opinion. Whatever. Get a deer rifle. You know, you can buy a deer rifle still, I think, at Walmart for probably $300 and something. Comes with a scope, you know. I talk all about that in the video. But yeah, you need some guns and ammo. And, you know, then just start doing all the prepper things like I talk about in my book, you know, Survivalist Family, Prepared Americans for a Strong America, or you can read online, you know, whatever. You need to start getting your stuff set up, but start thinking homestead, not prepper. Start thinking long term. That's why we talk about gardens and gates and fences and, you know, water and things like that. You have to think 5 years from now, whatever system I've got set up here is still going to work. That's why I like big dogs. You know, I like Anatolian Shepherds if you don't have a lot of friendly company coming over. I like Rhodesian Ridgebacks if you do. You can make more dogs as the years go on. Get a male and a female, you know. Sell the puppies until you need to keep one. You know, it's just another income stream that you have going. But dogs are really good on a homestead. Good dogs are good on a homestead. You need to train them. You need to work with them. You don't want them eating your chickens, right? Or your goats. 1 finger at you, 3 at me. I get it. So you got to do that. But man, I'm encouraging y'all. I'm feeling it more and more and more. And I read something. That's where I was going from this in the beginning. I was reading about coming to the Ozarks, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And somebody had a comment. I think it was a woman that was writing about the Ozarks. And I think she lived in North Carolina at the time. But she said something about drive now or walk later. It's basically you can move now from wherever you are out to the country and you can take your sweet old time and take everything you need and sell off what you don't need to give you some more money to buy another Stihl chainsaw or something. And, you know, you'll be set up and get your gardens going. Dun, 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 dun. Or you could try and flee at the last minute and you'll probably end up, you know, on foot with nothing, pursued, chased. The woman flees to the wilderness, right? She's being pursued, for those of you of a mind and revelation, to a place prepared for her by Yah. How do you think that place got prepared? So yeah, drumbeat, get out of those cities, go now. Get yourself set up, start taking care of business, start thinking long term, not short term. Think long term on your place, whatever kind of place you have. All right, hey, I wish you all the best. Take care. My wife and I today is garden day. We've got so much weeding to do out there. And if we get done, we're going to go down to the orchard and work on that as well. I've got a video I'm getting ready to shoot probably in the next day or so for the Shofar Mountain channel, a mini teaching on head coverings for women. And my neighbor Rick invited us down to get 15 pounds of red potatoes that he doesn't have any more jars to can, so he's going to give us those. Neighbors. It's good to have neighbors. Good neighbors. And so yeah, that's kind of our day for today. Exciting things coming up with the well that we drink water out of. You'll be seeing that coming up and more. So y'all take care, get out there and do something, start making plans and start acting on those plans. I fear time could be short. All right, I'll see you out there.